Spring practice number 1 in the books, and we're going to look at the quarterback battle and where we're at after one day. We got it figured out, right? We'll get into that. We're going to talk all about Alabama football right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe, thumbs up. We'll watch a little bit of practice film, and we'll get you ready for practice number 2 right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Let's go. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, and it's great to talk to you guys here at the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, where we talk Alabama football every single day. All right, let's get into this right off the bat. Kalen DeBoer was ready to get to the media after practice. Bama with the quarterback battle, and it's like, who's going to be the next quarterback? Ty Simpson? Is it going to be Austin Mack? Can Keelon Russell make a run at it? And DeBoer kind of like getting into all that stuff. And I'm curious myself, who's it going to be?
Oh, itself? No. Yeah. Good question there, Nick. No, it's it's something. I mean, just they're all at different points, but a few things procedure wise that, are a little different, and good to see those guys all operating through that. And, they all had their times, of course, where they looked really good, and times where they got to continue to grow and get better.
The roster says that Keelon put on, I think, 17 pounds. How much different does he look now than, when you were, I guess, recruiting him out of high school?
Yeah, I saw him last summer, and saw him in person for one game last fall. So, he's in pads and all of that at that time too. So, he looks good right now, strong and moves around. Just, he's just a good all around athlete. But the weight program for him is certainly, any new guy is going to be critical. And, it's good to get that first phase under the belt. That's why being an early enrollee is so important. And then obviously now, even through the spring, there's multiple reasons, but one of the reasons we go every other day and not back to back ever is just so we can get big days of lifting in, really a minimum of 3 times a week.
All right, there you go. He's talking about exactly why Alabama goes every other day, and the lifting and the procedure. But Keelon Russell putting on some weight for Alabama. The true freshman is going to try his best to be in this dog fight for the starting quarterback job. I don't know that it's really feasible for him to be considered for this starting quarterback job when you have Ty Simpson and Austin Mack, guys that have been there. But he's got amazing ability. He comes in the highest rated recruit that Alabama's ever gotten. And with Bryce Young ability, it may benefit him. And you talk about, guys like Arch Manning and even as highly recruited as he is, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, some of the best quarterbacks, the Mannings, right? They all were backups for a little while, grew into the position. Bryce Young did the same thing, won the Heisman Trophy. So for Keelon Russell, you go in and you try to make an impact, but at the same time know that you learn and you grow, like Coach DeBoer was talking about. And then, obviously the guy who's ready for the position will get it. And look, it's going to be Ty Simpson or Austin Mack. One practice in. The team's going to determine some of this too. Who is the guy that they see as the quarterback that's going to lead them, so that's part of, of this spring practice as well. So they'll be back on the field again. Will Alabama coming up on Wednesday, and then they'll do it every other day. And, they'll be off working out, getting ready. And then on April 12th, we'll have the 8A game. Or not game, but scrimmage or whatever. They said it's probably going to look a lot like it did last year. You don't have teams, you have, groups. And I'm going to miss the old way, but this is where college football is right now. And, you just kind of have to live with it at this point. Another one of the issues that Alabama is going to be dealing with is obviously a thin tight end room. And, this is a situation for Alabama as you see Ryan Grubb there for the first time. That just has to do with the depth of this team coming into the start of spring practice. So you had some guys that are gone, Robbie Oots and C.J. Dupree. We saw Dupree in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. Danny Lewis, who was going to transfer, then came back, but he's out the entire spring because of an injury, so you're not going to see him. Josh Cuevas, who played 13 games last year, and Jay Lindsey, who's a red shirt, are two guys that you would figure would be in the mix for Alabama. But this was already kind of a thin room. They signed Caleb Edwards. Marshall Pritchett was another guy, and then a walk-on, and Peter Knutson. So, I say walk-on. He was out of Weber State. Some of you guys remember him. Jalen Hobson came out of South Alabama. But this is a very tight room. Not a whole lot of depth there for Alabama. And, that's kind of how spring is sometimes. Guys dealing with injuries, going in that you're going to kind of have to work through those deals. I don't know that it'll affect Alabama, I think, in the long term, but I think just this spring, that's a group that is definitely one that Alabama is kind of thin on. Now, the other really big story to me was Caden Proctor at left tackle, okay? So Proctor, remember, he was the guy that transferred, and then saw him on the Tide That Binds show talking about how he transferred and came back. Guy's huge, man. 6'7", 350 plus pounds. Started in 11 games last year, and he's going to be limited this spring as well. So he's another guy that you kind of want to see out there, but at the same time, you want guys to be healthy that are coming back. But, I feel like Caden Proctor is poised to be one of Bama's best players on this offensive line. And I feel like the offensive line is an area where Alabama has got to improve as we watch video there of Austin Mack throwing a nice deep ball. Oh, what a great catch. So, that's something else to kind of keep an eye on, as this spring practice slate rolls on, kind of where Alabama's going to end up and, who's going to be where. A lot of the stuff that's determined kind of starts now, but then fall practice, you kind of build it all in and then get into the games. And, a lot can change between this first practice and the first game and then the last game of the season as well. Injuries always play a factor in that. And also, how your performance is and, and so many other things. So, that offensive line is really important. How is that going to turn out? And we're going to see some of these freshmen, like Jackson Lloyd, a 5-star. Is he going to be able to do something? Michael Carroll, somebody else that I'm really interested in. Can he come in and make an impact on the offensive line for Alabama? So we're one practice in, not really to that point where, we're saying, okay, we're good, but we're trying to get there. And then the other thing that was surprising to me is that Bama and their two best, I'd say best, most reliable linebackers, they're not going to be featured in this spring camp. Deontay Lawson, remember, he was lost last year, had a injury that ended his season against Oklahoma. Justin Jefferson, my friend Clint Lamb from Cover Crimson, loves Justin Jefferson. Can't wait to see him out there. Talks about him a lot. So that leaves Bama with a very thin linebacker room. Some of those young guys, we're going to see what they can do. Abdul Sanders, Luke Metz out of Georgia, Duke Johnson. Gotta love that name, Duke Johnson. Those two guys, QB Reese, who's from the Birmingham area. I remember talking to him when he signed at Alabama. Caden Jones, and then the transfer from Colorado, Nakai Hill Green, who says he wants to be like Ray Lewis. He's going to have an opportunity to play like Ray Lewis because, look, very thin right now at that spot. And when you have the two starters or presumed starters from a position out, it kind of gives the other guys, that are, getting reps, the feel of what it would be for them to be the starter. So I don't think it's a bad thing for Alabama, but I think it's just where they are after one practice. So, just kind of getting their feet wet, going through all of the practice routine, kind of getting back on track again. So we'll see Alabama just continue to progress. Open practice on Wednesday. That'll be fun. I'm planning on trying to get down to practice on April 8th. So we know when Alabama gets closer to that 8A game, but love this time of year where you kind of get your feet wet. Guys, every night I tell you, hey, you need to check out Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia. And I do that because they've been a great partner. They're the presenting sponsor of the Bama Tailgate Show. And that means the #1 radio show on game days in Birmingham and Tuscaloosa on 106.9 Classic Rock, right before Alabama football comes on with Jake Coker. And they've been on board since we started. They inspired this channel. They've been a great friend. And the guy that really made all of this happen was this guy right here, Ryan Griffin. And I was just absolutely blessed to call Rhino a friend. On Saturday, he tragically passed away from a heart attack. And we've been heartbroken by the loss of Ryan Griffin. The guy was caring. He was a fantastic friend who always had your best interest in mind. And when he liked you, he loved you, and he would do anything for you. Our family at Pearl River is hurting right now. We're hurting as well. Kind of sat on this for a couple days because it's so hard to, first off, believe, and then secondly, to even talk about. But please send your prayers to Ryan, his 2 boys, Kim, and his entire family, because he's loved and he's missed. And I just can't even tell you enough how heartbroken we are. So we love Rhino, and honestly, Godspeed, my friend. Thank you for everything that you've done for us, but more importantly, thank you for being a fantastic friend and someone that I talk to regularly and honestly loved. That does it for the Tailgate Show today. We'll do it again tomorrow, guys, but thank you for being here, and Roll Tide, everybody.